of Life Instructions. If you're new here, I'm Umayma, and I'm someone who's been fascinated by the human experience for as long as I can remember. I've spent my life connecting with people from all over the globe and diving deep into different cultures, religions, and philosophies to explore what it means to live a fulfilling life. This podcast is my little corner of the universe where we talk about the how to's of life, not the kind you'll find in manuals or textbooks, but the ones you wish someone had handed you growing up. At least I know I wished. So today I'm so excited to have Lydie join us on Life Instructions God Squad Edition. Lydie is incredibly talented. Even if she doesn't admit that, she's not only a pianist and a singer, but she's also thriving in her professional life at Google, where she recently earned a well-deserved promotion. She has lived in multiple countries, balancing so many unique experiences while handling challenges and finding her purpose. So let's dive into her life instructions and see what we can all learn from her journey. Lydie, marhaba, welcome. I'm so
Thank
happy you made the
you.
time.
Thanks so much for having me, and finally it's happening.
I know, it's all the right timing. It's God's plan.
Yeah, I know.
So you're right now in France. I know you usually live
Yeah,
in Ireland, and last week you've been traveling for business in Spain. And I know
yeah.
this is starting me for just how international you are. And I wanted to ask you, like, you've lived in so many different countries. What's one of the biggest lessons you've learned from being in so many places?
Wow. One of the biggest lessons I'd say was to never judge um any culture, anything. Um, I've lived, as you said, in four countries so far: Ireland, France, Spain, and Cambodia. And they're all so different from each other. I know that, three of them are in Europe, so you might think they're very similar, but every time I went to any of these countries, I had no expectations. And I think that's also part of the good experience. So not judging and having no expectation of what you're going to see. I had never been to Cambodia in my life. It was so different from anything else that I know. Um, but I just trusted the process that something will feel familiar and everything will fall into place, and it did happen. So before I went, for example, I know a lot of people were telling me, oh my God, Cambodia is dangerous, or this happens in Cambodia. Are you sure you want to go on your own? You're the only one of the university going there, blah blah. And I don't know, I was just like, look, people who are telling me this have never been. And if they've been, they must have had a different experience from the one I'm going to have. And if it's that dangerous, then I come back, but at least I'm going to try it. And I feel like a lot of people judge when it comes to travel to new places. A lot of people have, stereotypes and judgments beforehand. And that's also what impacts your experience. I had the best experience. Cambodia was one of the best countries I've lived in, even more than Spain to some extent. So I think, yeah, not judging.
I love it so much, and I think it's
Yeah,
so wise of you to realize, okay, everyone has their own experience. That it can be, you can be literally in the same city, but have
yeah,
completely different experiences. Would
yeah.
you say that Cambodia shaped you more than Spain did?
Oh my God, it did.
Mm,
Oh my God, it shaped me more than my whole life.
really?
Yeah, I, funny enough, I had a lot of challenges there when I was there, but not related to what people told me beforehand, like that it was dangerous or whatever, but more on the politics side of the country. Some things happened when I was there. A lot of things happened as well, challenges at university, and it was just everything was just improvising every time. I was away from my family. I couldn't just take a flight, or they couldn't just take a flight. So everything was just improvising with people, different cultures, Cambodian people, also foreigners that were also living there. It definitely shaped me. I'm tougher now. I'm tougher now, and I'm really way more prepared to live. I'd say I'm prepared to live in any country. Obviously, any country that's not in war, because that's a complete different challenge. But um, I think I'll be ready to live in most countries. Yeah, thanks to Cambodia.
Wow, I love it. That's literally school of life.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
you've done it, like you are extremely young for everything you've achieved. So I imagine how old were you when you were there?
I was 22 when I moved to Cambodia. Yeah, 22,
Oh.
22, 23.
So
Yeah.
so many changes, like where you say like new jobs, new places, you're still in university, many challenges. How do
Yeah.
you handle these big transitions? Like, do you have any tips or routines that help you stay steady?
I'd say my faith because in between, like I wish it was, okay, I live in Spain and then I live in Cambodia and then every country I've lived in, the move has been so hectic, or like the reason why I moved to like all the countries I live in, except France because I was born here, but most of the countries I've lived in, the reason why I moved there is because something random happened. It was never really like me being aware that I'm going to move to this country. It was always like someone suggested it to me, last minute, or so many different factors. So I think just faith, just trust that. I was actually thinking about this morning as I was getting ready for the podcast. I think just trusting that it's going to be okay. Whatever happens at school, or in my personal life, or at work, or wherever I was about to move, just trusting that God is going to put the right people on my way. And even if it's just one person, that one person will guide me to meet other people, or to just be with this person very close and have a good experience, or just even if I'm on my own, that everything is going to fall into places. And that's what happened in Cambodia. I was really on my own the first 4 months. I had no friends, just my neighbors. Well, my landlord actually. Uh, and it was still very good. It was very peaceful. I was completely lost. I had, yeah, as I said, no friends, nowhere, no one to go to. And then suddenly I met one person that introduced me to a bunch of people that were very generous with me, and that's how everything then fell into
That's so
places. So
powerful. Like it's
yeah,
amazing when you truly think in your core that everything's gonna turn out the right way, and you put just you surrender in a sense,
yeah,
and everything falls into place as hard as it is. And do you think where do you have this faith from? I know you have a very interesting mix and upbringing. Do you want to talk more about that? Like where do you have this trust of okay, this is God's plan. Like whatever's gonna happen, whatever's meant to happen will happen. Where
yeah.
do you have that from?
I think I've always seen my parents be confident in life and in God, and in whatever is coming. So also seeing their background. My mom was born in Morocco, my dad was born in Benin. They both went to France to study. They met there, had three wonderful daughters. And then I think just seeing the way they were living their faith, and also the way they were just trusting the process so much, I think that's what brings me peace as well. To It's hard to explain. I think it's a feeling of the upbringing when you grow up in an environment where, I don't know, beautiful things happened, and you feel a lot of love, and you feel like nearly in a bubble of of love and confidence. I think that's naturally what happens. But I think also just knowing that I have the right people around me at the right time, that's also what's helping me a lot, trusting what's going to happen. Because as soon as I've lost a lot of friendships in the past years, and I really, really listen to my intuition as well. I think that's why, as well. I think that's also why I trust the process, because my intuition has never failed me. So as soon as my intuition says something to me, I test it a bit, I challenge it, and it's 100% right. Like accuracy rate is 100%. I think that, so I think that's why faith and intuition. And to answer your question on faith, yeah, I think my parents, just seeing them very praying, but also not just praying, but also be so confident every time, in even in the worst challenges, that God is here, God is hearing us, and God is going to be protecting in whatever way. I think that's what also provides it to me, that wherever I am, I know that God has a plan, good or less good for me, but I know that if it's good for God, it will be good for me at the end of the day, even if I can't see it right now.
Yeah, long term, like it only makes sense backwards. You cannot make sense of it in the moment. Like sometimes you're like,
Exactly.
no, this is what I want, and then years
Exactly.
later you're like, oh, thank God this happened.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
but I love your part of intuition because I know like the accuracy rate is 100% when you learn it the hard way. But when we are younger, we tend to do like these A/B testings without even wanting it. We're like, okay,
Exactly.
I feel it, but let me check with them the benefit
Yeah,
of the doubt. And you're like,
exactly.
okay. And there is confirmation bias where sometimes, okay, you think something's gonna happen, then it happens. But I feel like with intuition, where the more you listen to it, the more it's accurate.
Exactly.
And how you
exactly.
talked about losing friendships. Would you say like this is a part of you outgrowing them, or was it how did it happen?
It's like I've never liked the like I know what you mean by outgrowing. I've never liked this word because whatever I did, like wherever I was, if I changed countries or was studying, like I have friends from different backgrounds, very different backgrounds, all of them, and I've never felt like, oh, I'm at the point where we're in a dead end and there is nothing much more to, share or we're not aligned anymore. Like I did feel that we were not aligned, but not because of different background or studies difference or, my job situation, but it's just the energy for me. Um, I've lost a very good friend I think it was 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, very, very close friend. Um, just because then maybe in the sense of outgrowing, because this person was really envious, jealous, and the energy that she was projecting on me wasn't like I didn't like the relationship I was having, and I didn't like the version of myself when I was with her.
Wow, that is
And I think
so powerful. Like when you focus on who you are with that person, it's just not them with you or
exactly.
towards you, but who you turn
Exactly,
into.
exactly. And so it really tore me because she was a really good friend, and I thought about the best ways of telling her. And also at the beginning, I was, as you said, doing an A/B test of, okay, maybe it's me, maybe I think this is the issue, but maybe XYZ, or maybe, and then I think the eye opener was when she came to visit me. And she came to visit me where I was living, and that was an eye opener. I felt the energy in person even
Yeah,
more than
yeah.
over the phone, and that's when I said, look, it's enough, and I um, still gave it a try, and then really said, look, this is it. Um, so I think definitely intuition, energy, just I don't know. I think it speaks for itself. Um, but also how, like, am I being myself with this person? That's the questions I was asking myself. Am I being myself? Am I being a good person? Am I being treated right? Is this person being honest with me? Um, is it because friendship is being so happy for your friends? For me, I don't know, like, I've been in situations where I don't know, I was facing challenges abroad. I was on my own, for example, challenges in my studies or at work. But as long as my family and friends are safe, I don't really care.
Yeah.
And that's how I know that there is sincerity in the friendship, right? So when I see that there isn't this benevolence towards one of the two parties in the friendship, I think that's when, like, you can't, when your friend is happy, for me, you should be even happier.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen, then yeah, it's questionable.
I think
So I think
sometimes
that,
it's very powerful because when you don't know something, then you can't compare it, and then you just accept that kind of friendship. But what I meant with outgrowing is that you go other places and you see what kind of
yeah,
empowering women can exist, and you're like, if that exists, why am I holding into something? It doesn't mean that person is bad. They're just on a different journey, and they
yeah,
see life differently. Maybe in their
exactly.
point of view, it makes sense. Maybe even the envy makes sense. For some people,
Yeah,
it's an anchor to see what they're missing in life and can thrive. Like
exactly.
those are normal human emotions we can all feel, but it's the what are you gonna do with it? Are you gonna turn it into negativity and against me, or are you gonna go and work on your life and be more inspired by me, and I can be inspired by you? And I think friendship is so crucial because you said like what helped you even be in Cambodia. You knew you have your support system, and I think mostly your family, your sisters. So even if they're far, even if you're alone in a country, your base. Like
Yeah,
how important to have a support system. And I think when you have that, and I've been lucky to have it too. Like my siblings were my best friends my entire life, and whenever I got someone so close to me at that level, like I have made amazing friendships, but when I made the mistake to get someone too close to me, to my family, unfortunately, it's always so far led to heartbreak. And I feel like heartbreak in
yeah.
friendships is so much worse
So
than normal
much. I
heartbreak.
know. It's so underrated, but it's horrible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's horrible, especially when you introduce this person to your family, as you said, or your friend
Yeah.
or your other friends. For me, it's, oh my God. Yeah, it's very hard. I think we don't speak about it enough.
No, no. I think it's not a
Um,
thing. I don't know why. Like everyone, like there are endless songs
yeah, I know.
about heartbreak, and like I feel like with women we have like this conversation, there is no boundary at some point. Like you're so
Yeah,
close to a
I
level
know.
where you're like, okay, you never imagine, like you literally see yourself growing old with that person. Because
Yeah,
in a relationship, you're like, oh,
exactly.
people break up all the time, so it's not
Yeah,
gonna happen. You're a bit primed that it could happen. While a
yeah,
friendship, it hits you out of nowhere. And in adult life, I feel like
exactly.
that's the strongest. Like,
Exactly.
I hear you. I'm so
It's
sorry you went through
horrible. It's
that.
yeah. Thanks.
Oh,
It's very hard. It's hard because there's so much even outside of a relationship, of a romantic relationship. There is in a friendship. There is so much more sometimes that you share with your friends than with your romantic partner. That I don't know. It just stays there, and it's a box of secrets and box of confidences that are just lost, and it's just yeah. It's very very tough. And I think people also assume most people assume that, and I think myself as well, that friendships are granted. Like, oh, she's my best friend for like 20 years, or oh, she's my best friend for 2 years, 3 years. But I mean, also something I discovered this year is that you really have to nurture
yeah.
the friendships. And this is something that, yeah, I'm really holding myself accountable for, but it's really necessary to work as much as you work on your romantic relationship to work
Yeah.
on your friendship as well. I only discovered this year, really to the extent of, wow, really, this is something that's super
Yeah,
important.
yeah, it happened to me. I think even when you change countries and you feel like how hard it is to keep friendships in another country,
Yeah,
you learn in adult life. Well, it's really as busier you get and you have other priorities. You can't keep many. I feel like it's quality over quantity at some stage. You're like,
yeah,
okay, this is if my partner and my job is prio zero, then they are
yeah,
prio one, and this is what I'm gonna do A B C
yeah,
during the
yeah,
year of
exactly.
that time.
And you can't
Um,
see everyone, you can't speak to everyone, so you have to really, it's hard, but you have to trust that this person is still here, even
yeah,
if you don't speak every day or even if you don't speak every month.
yeah,
It's hard, especially from abroad.
yeah. Especially like when you find this kind of friendships, then it's worth holding on to be honest. And so I know we spoke also briefly about songs and heartbreak songs. Let's move
Yeah.
into the next big part of your life, which is I know you're a musician and a performer, and I wanted to ask you, do you feel like your creativity connects you to something bigger? Like, does it help you navigate life?
Wow. I think there's something very weird that I've actually never told anyone. That
Oh,
always happens to me. There's something that really like because I've always thought it happens to me for many years, maybe since I'm a teenager, and I've always felt like I'm really weird and something is wrong with my head. But basically, I think to answer your question, yeah, I think it definitely helps me navigate life for some reason. I think unconsciously, not consciously, um, or more so unconsciously than consciously, because something that happens to me is whatever situation I'm in, and this is really, it sounds crazy, but it's really accurate. Whatever situation I'm in, I don't know, like heartbreak as we thought, or whatever challenge I'm in life, there is a song, even if I don't know this song, that comes to my mind that's describing the situation. This is really, really weird, and this has been triggered me for a long time, like what's happening to my in my mind. But whatever would happen, so I don't know, someone passing away or someone betraying someone else or someone, whatever, automatically, as soon as I'm aware of the situation, this song is playing in my mind and repeat and repeat. And it's only a few years ago that I realized that every song that just comes in my mind directly after I'm aware of a situation is related to the situation. I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't remember. I think recently it was a something happened and I can't remember, but a Tyler Swift song came into my mind. I think it was "I Knew You Were Trouble," and it was related to the situation that I was living with someone. But I was like, obviously, like now I was like, well, I know what's happening. This song is coming, but I don't know. In the past, it would have been any song related to. Do you get me? I don't know. It's a bit weird. My mind just
100%.
play games
No.
with me.
I mean, this podcast is for all weirdos to feel like they're not weird. Because I feel like I'm being
I
part of
know.
a fitness challenge right now, and with an amazing woman, and we're doing a December challenge, and she
Yeah,
looked at us last Sunday, and she was like, "You are all a bunch of weirdos. Like normally people start their resolutions in January. Like you're
yeah,
supposed to be celebrating Christmas and eating chocolate. Like what the hell are you doing
yeah,
here?" And I'm like, there is nothing better than feeling like you're being a weirdo at the right place. And I
Yeah.
feel you. I feel like I even have singers where I have parallel lives to them. Like every album they drop, I feel like it's speaking to me, to my journey, and
Yeah.
what I'm going
Yeah.
through. I have this
Yeah.
with Selena Gomez. It's insane. Like I feel like we are so synced.
Yeah.
Even Taylor Swift, she has this. She is so talented with the way her
Yeah.
lyrics just have so
Definitely.
many layers to them. And I
Yeah.
feel like even you listen to a song once and then you listen, and you're like, damn, that's I didn't even hear it that way until I
Yeah.
felt that emotion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
you relate to it differently. So no, you're not
Yeah.
a weirdo at all. But
Yeah. It
um,
is very weird. My mind just throws a song at me that is the situation, even before I'm aware of the situation. So it's weird.
wow,
It's a bit
that's
mad.
so
So
amazing.
yeah, I
And
think
how did you get into music? Like, tell me, was it as a child? Like, was it thrown at you? Like you said, how did you go into music?
so it's funny. This podcast is actually perfect timing, and I know we were meant to do it in the past, and I couldn't. I had like agenda clashes and you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's perfect timing because so I started playing piano when I was 14-year-old. That's the conscious way of me knowing that I started music when I was 14-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Because my sister played piano and it was kind of ritual. Okay, Lydie, you love music. Do you want to play an instrument? Piano. That's it. Um, but funny enough, a few days ago, as I told you, I bought a new MacBook and I just plugged my I just connected to my iCloud identifier, and I received all the files that I don't know, it's really random, but all the files that my dad had shared with me 2 years ago of my childhood and all the videos. And so as I was setting up the MacBook, I was like, what is that? So I clicked on this and it was saying childhood. So I clicked on this and it was all the videos, or most of the videos of my childhood when I was between maybe 2 to 10. So I just watched them for hours and hours and hours on Thursday night. And I found 98% of the videos were me singing and dancing.
Oh my god.
And I remember I was watching with my partner and he was like, "You're literally dancing and singing in all the videos." My parents were telling my sister, "Shh, Lily, sing it." I had such a memory. I could sing you 20 songs in a row without even blinking. I was shocked. And then dancing salsa, dancing zouk, dancing whatever style. So I think it definitely since I'm a child, I wasn't aware of that. Like I can't remember that much loving music. So I think it started when I was very, very young.
Oh my
It's mad.
god, it doesn't surprise me. I have chills. This is so beautiful. This is amazing. I feel
Yeah,
like this is wow. That
I
is
know.
so beautiful though, because I knew you have such a deep connection to music, and I feel like this is related to literally how life works. Like you know there is something inside, but then you get to know it at the same, like at the right timing when you need
Yeah,
it most. I feel like there is no coincidence in you finding what your dad left you. That it's a part of
exactly.
you inside you. You know, like
Exactly.
it's a gift from you to you, something that will
Yeah,
never leave you. That is so
exactly.
oh, that is so beautiful indeed. And
Yeah, I
if
know.
so, for you consciously, you're like the story you told yourself. I started at 14. Well, you've been practicing since 2 year
Exactly.
old.
Exactly. The only memory
Wow.
that I had is my parents were dancing a lot and like putting a lot of, they loved salsa, zouk, so they were dancing a lot together. But I didn't know that I was also singing, or like my memory was like, well, I liked singing because I wanted to be a singer. Like most of children, they want to be like, I don't know, a superstar, a singer, a dancer, whatever. Um, but then yeah, I saw the videos and I was like, wow, I was in my nappy and I was dancing with the
Mm.
nappy, the nappy, like it's crazy.
That is so you. I can totally see that, and I want to see that content.
I'll show you. I'll show you. It's also very funny because I was really, and I had this conversation with my partner afterwards. I was two, three, four on the video, five, and even more, and I was really confident. I remember I was singing, and at some point on the video, one of the videos, my sister was interrupting me, and I was like, I can't sing if you speak. And then I kept singing, and I was like, "What was that confidence?" I was like 2, 3 year old. How is that even possible? So yeah, it's definitely I think I know where it comes from now, but for I discovered it 4 days ago.
It
So
is so beautiful. Like I love how we all need to connect more to that inner child because that's literally
definitely.
who we are. Like right now you'll be like so thinking of others, oh no, no, I'm so shy, no, I can't do
I
this, no, this is too
know.
much.
I
But like the
know.
only way I'm also holding this mic today is because you reconnect to that inner child and I was like, why did I like to I would hold a brush, hold whatever, like a TV remote,
Exactly.
anything, and like act like
Exactly.
something, and you
And
don't
acts,
understand. It
yeah.
doesn't make sense. Like, but it's in you. It's so deep. Like
Exactly.
until now, I don't know. Like until now, I don't understand why I have this passion because I hate social media. Like I don't want to have that presence. I don't like being the center of attention. I don't like there is nothing. The only thing I like is just connecting to people one
This
on one
connection, yeah.
and hearing the stories and like
Yeah.
loving this. And then you gotta do just the other part. Like for you, maybe you love the creation being a pianist, and maybe you don't like the being on stage in front. But I don't know what is it for you where you
Exactly.
think I just
Yeah.
have to put up with it to do what I love. Like
Yeah. It's a bit weird because I'm always saying I love to share my music to the world or what I compose or covers just because I want people to feel the way I feel when I listen to music, but I would love to be a Sia, like to compose or to sing, but no one would know what I look like, my
yeah,
name, whatever.
yeah,
Whereas when I was a child, I was doing it myself. I was enjoying the cameras and I was enjoying everyone filming me and singing. So it's a bit weird. I feel like I think it's also part of, growing and aging, let's say, is um I don't know, you're shaped differently and it's a shame because why did I lose the confidence that I had as a child to be able to sing in front of everyone? I don't know, it's a bit weird. Why do I need to hide now? And
yeah,
I'm also like you say, I think the way around, I like social media, but I hate posting on social media
yeah.
videos of me singing. I'm really, really, really ashamed. When I do that, I just put my phone away and I'm like, that's it. Um, but I don't know why, because as a child, I was just, super carefree and
Yeah.
I would love to be like that again.
I think it's a practice thing because we get so self-conscious and we think people we will be judged at some point, but people
Yeah,
think about themselves more than they will ever think about us. Like we
so
all just
much.
think about that so much, while another
Yeah.
person will just be amazed at your voice and talent and like and move on. While you are so perfectionist, you'll be like, oh, I could have done this better. I could have positioned this better. And I think just the more and please, we need more of your content in the world.
Yeah.
And now
Thanks.
your new mic and your MacBook, so we're waiting.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Thanks
I
so
love this so much. So you're managing this. How do you find the time? Because I know you just got promoted in your job at Google.
much.
Congrats.
Thank
And I
you.
and I wanted to ask you, like, how do you define success beyond career achievements? Like, what keeps you grounded? Because I know when we're in that bubble, it tends to be like all focus on next level and next and next and like
Yeah.
climbing that ladder. But what is it for you that keeps you grounded?
I think success is, for me, outside of work, is to be with the people, to be with the right people. So it doesn't have to be family, it doesn't have to be friends, to be with healthy people, and be surrounded. Sometimes I just have this feeling of like, wow, like if, I don't know, one day I lose my job, or if I leave, or if I quit, or if I just decide to, stop doing any professional activities that I'm doing, the what would I do first? I think is what makes me the most happy, and I'm not aware of it because I'm really stuck into my professional career. And this professional race, I'd say. So the first thing that I have in mind is, okay, if I lost it all, I would go to my these and these and these people in my family and these and these and these people in my friends, among my friends, and I think that's then the right way because that's immediately the first thing I think of when I'm outside of this, dynamic. So I think yeah, definitely be surrounded by the people I love, and then be in healthy relationships. I think that's success for me. Knowing that you're with the right people that are benevolent and that care for you. Um, I think for me, yeah, that's it. And then success also in music, 'cause obviously,
Yeah.
um, it wouldn't be for me. It wouldn't like I know that in the musical industry, obviously, there's many ways of measuring success, but if you're with a label, the best way is, well, how many streams did you get per month? How many views? How many awards as well do you get? But I think for me, it's just doing the music that you like, whatever. And when you're with a label is different. It's difficult. But doing whatever you want whenever you want. So if you feel like doing hip hop in January and then rock in July and then I don't know whatever rap in you know August,
Yeah.
do it. Not just because you have a tag of, oh my God, I'm this, um, I don't know, soul and jazz singer. I should stick to it. I think just
Yeah.
success in music is do whatever you want. And if it means you have to drop your label, drop your label. Just do whatever you
Totally.
want. And if it means you're going to sell less, sell less. At least you're doing what you want when you're in the studio.
Yeah.
So,
Because it's
yeah.
such a form of expressing your soul. It would be so sad to
Yeah,
be put in a box and lose that freedom that
exactly.
music gives you, because it's all about
Exactly.
freedom at the same time. So
Exactly.
you put it so beautifully. And I think it's also you are wise beyond your years, because there are so many studies surveying like what happiness is throughout the years. And it's really the human connections that we have. So success, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It matters, like, of course,
Exactly.
money makes life easier in a sense, but it
Yeah.
has nothing to do with fulfillment and
Yeah.
happiness and contentment. Like, it's all about the human connections. And
Yeah.
it's beautiful that you're aware
Definitely.
of that at such a young age.
Hmm.
It's gonna save you some life lessons.
Yeah. And also, I think, sorry, just to complete my answer, success
Yeah.
is even before human connections and is health. I was meant to say, because if you don't have, I'm just seeing it around me, if you have one thing, like, I don't know, we're lucky and we're healthy and we're as in a way that thank God we're healthy, like for the basic needs that we need to carry in life and walk and speak and listen and hear, etc. Um, I think this is also the basics, and we're very lucky. So yeah, just be grateful about it. Hmm.
You're so right. That's so beautiful.
Hmm.
That's such a beautiful reminder. Truly, like in my Al Khoya edition with my brother, the one we do in Morocco, we keep talking about it in each episode, because we tend to take things so for granted that are
So
actually not.
much,
Like, where even
so much.
kings and queens 100 years ago couldn't even have the privilege to have
Yeah,
hot water or like electricity. Like, we are so blessed this generation. And also, if you're like here listening and you have the safety of have the time to listen to a podcast or access to an internet, or like, this is already your top
yeah,
10% of the
yeah,
world. Like, it's already beyond privilege, but we tend to get too ambitious, because which is the human nature, and is also beautiful.
yeah,
But I feel like it's so important to find that sweet spot between being grateful for the basics and then chasing your dreams in a way where
exactly.
you're still enjoying the process. And
Yeah,
I know you're also very ambitious, and you're managing, like, you have your goals with music and at work. And um, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned it before in the beginning, that you always trust that things will work out in the right way. So is it something you've had to work on? Because I know you've had it from your parents, and you've seen them live by it, but sometimes I feel like we have that default mode to want to fight against life instead of
yeah,
going to the stream. Like,
yeah.
is it something that you had to learn because of the challenges?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think Cambodia was the biggest lesson, one of the biggest lessons in my life. Um, I'd say yes. Um, yeah, like as I said, I've seen my parents trusting the process, and that helped me trust the process myself. But I think there is also a lot of challenges that life throws at you, and that just forces you to trust the process because you have no other choice. The process is here, and you have to trust it. So I think, yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the biggest challenges that happened to me was last year, and um, this is when I was really applying the trust the process slogan, I'd say, her mantra. Yeah, I think, yeah, just life challenges that I'm someone that likes to, so to some extent, I like to know what's coming especially for more so for a year ago now. I like to know what's coming. I like to control, and that's something I'm working a lot in therapy as well. Let go of the control because and life shows you that there's no point controlling because God is doing what He's doing, and it's gonna happen. So yeah, trust the process, but it's it's hard. It's hard at some point sometimes.
I hear you. It's really, I feel like it's a life journey. You get better. It's like you unlock different levels, but it's always the same. And I know you've been through a lot, and thank you so much for trusting us enough to mention it. Like what you've been through the past year or more. Like, would you say that grief has shaped your outlook on life? Like, did it help you stay connected to what really matters? Like now, I see you way more around like just health matters, the relationships. Like, did it change completely? Because I
Mm.
know it happened to me in the past when you lose someone suddenly, and Marcus was also someone super young and healthy, and you don't understand, like you
Yeah,
said, like control the control. You're like, what? You have in your head, like we have this weird
yeah,
relationship with death, where we think it just happens to others, and it just
yeah,
happens in certain
so much.
circumstances. Like it, and then when it happens, it really shakes your core, as we're like nothing is for granted, and nothing is permanent, and this is and life is so short. Like it's not an Instagram quote anymore. You live it.
Yeah.
And how is it for you? I know it's a long process, and it's never gonna end. Like I don't feel like you ever end grieving. But
Yeah.
how did it shape you, or like where are you at?
I'm only at the beginning. Like I've made a lot of progress. First of all, I would have never done anything without therapy. And I think,
Mm-hmm.
anyway, before my father passing, I was already going to therapy, and I think this is something we should all do. And I know it's unfortunately not accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
It's expensive, and I obviously it's expensive because it's an expertise and it's someone that can literally save your life as well. You're a therapist. If you have a good connection with your therapist, you can definitely save your life. Um, but yeah, I'm at the beginning of it, and I'm at the stage where I think I'm still in the denial sometimes. Um, why I say that is because I still, when I go to Paris, I still have the feeling sometimes that I see him or that he's gonna call me or things like that. I think I still have 10% or 20% of denial, and the rest is acceptance. And also, as we said, trust the process. I think it's also now I'm more on the majority of my feelings is more on the peaceful side of I know that and I feel especially what I feel not so what I know or what I believe but what I feel is that he is safe, and so this is helping me accept whatever has happened. But yeah, I'm still at the very beginning, and I think I'm also at the stage, as I said, of controlling and fear.
Mm-hmm.
And I know fear is a natural feeling and I should accept this emotion. It's still something that I'm really struggling to accept because I feel fear for my relatives passing away, my friends passing away. I'm really, really scared of death at the moment. So, but obviously I know you can't control these things, which is why I think I'm still at the beginning of it because I'm in the denial phase, I'm in the accepting phase, but I'm also in the fear. Fear is leading my way to in this grief process. So
Yeah, I hear
yeah,
you. I totally hear you, because I think there are two ways. Like the fear to feel it is super normal, but again, like we said,
yeah,
like it's what you do with it. Like you can be super scared, because I have it too. I'm like, both my parents are over 70, and especially with my mom, we live abroad, so we are far from them, and I keep thinking, okay, I can either obsess about the fact that I will lose her and it will happen, or she will lose me, and this is like just what life is about, or put that energy into making every memory we have together memorable. So I just keep trying. Like the past years, every time she has her birthday, for me it's the biggest day of the year, and I'll make it such a big deal, because I wanna remember it for
I love
life, and
that.
I wanna turn that fear into love. So whatever, if she tells me I wanna go discover that city, I'm gonna go plan that trip. And it was so funny, because last year, like she was like, "Where you cannot make all this happen for me? Okay, I wanna go to Milan, I wanna go to Rome, and I wanna go to Greece." And I'm like, "Okay, take it out." And she's like, "No, I'm joking." I'm just
I love that.
so it's so funny, because in my head it's like the only control the controllable. That's the only thing I can do,
Yeah,
because I can,
yeah,
like you said,
yeah.
it's gonna
You're right.
happen, and the fear is there. It's not going
Yeah,
anywhere. It's like literally how our brain is primed to be fearful. So it's about like that 3 seconds you have in the beginning to change that thought, because the moment you leave, there is no way you're gonna win against it, because it's
yeah,
what literally what made us survive to be here, to not get
yeah,
eaten by a lion, is that fear. So
yeah.
like, okay,
That's
but
true.
it's
I love
it's
what you said about the birthdays, because this is I'm finding like I did that with my dad every birthday in our family. I don't know, it has always been like super like special and big and on the recordings that I found on my childhood is also all about myself singing and birthdays. And like I used to do that with my dad as well, coming and doing a bunch of things for his birthday, and that would make him happy. And that this is what stays. That's what I have on my phone. That I also the messages and the videos of his birthday, him blowing the candles and being sung happy birthday. Like this is, it might sound like a minor thing when you do it, but trust me, it speaks volumes at some point. Um,
I truly, I got the just because I really know at some point I just see how they also, our parents are also people who are living life for the first time. So you do see them, especially whenever
exactly.
I surprise them, whenever I do see her like being happy as a child, like
Yeah,
seeing that side of them, because we
exactly.
tend to see them. This is what I think being an adult and maturing is all about when you realize there are just people trying to figure life out. Like, because we tend to put
Exactly.
them in a certain position when we are growing up, we're like, you did this to me, or especially if you're doing their therapy and being more self-reflective and analyzing everything. The
Yeah,
first step of healing is like being angry at everything, everyone, how
I
things are,
know.
and etc. And
Yeah,
then the more, like, as you said, like, and then the denial, and then you accept it, and then you're like, okay, this is they were doing their best, and they're
yeah,
all victims of victims, and this is where they are, and like just love. Like whenever
exactly.
there is fear, like just pour love. I feel like for me it's like fire and water. Like whenever the love is like the just that water that just
Exactly.
calms that fire
Yeah.
because I have it too. Like also dealing with anxiety and everything. Like okay, but it teaches
Mm.
you a lot. You feel more
So much,
happy,
so
and then
much.
it makes you feel the good stuff even more. And like
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
balanced. I feel like in
Yeah,
life
yeah,
is
yeah.
like in life I think in French, like you say, justice and justesse, like it's not fair,
Hmm.
but it makes sense. Like when you
Yeah,
relatively, it's fair.
yeah,
Relatively, when you see, like for example, you're like, oh my god, I'm too sensitive. Everything hurts me. But then I'm like, everything makes me extremely happy. Or like my partner says,
yeah,
you get excited about. I get
yeah.
excited about Christmas decoration every year as if I succeeded in the first time. Even yesterday, we had a moment. He's like, you're acting like you're the first time in Europe after living here for 14 years. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's literally making my heart happy. Like
Oh, that's
I can't
beautiful
help
though.
it. And then the
That's
same thing, if
beautiful.
I see someone on the street, I'm gonna cry for an hour. It's like, and I'm like, you can't change, and this is who you are, so you just accept it. It's so sweet.
I love that. That's so
Oh.
cute.
So, I love it so much. I know it's not easy to open up about this and to share your personal story, but
Yeah.
you're doing it, and I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
And I wanted to ask you, like, how has being open helped you grow? Like, what do you hope people take away from your story when they're listening to us now?
Oh, I hope they, I mean, wow, we spoke about so many different topics. I think if I first cover grief, um, I've been brief about it because also it's still sensitive, but
Yeah.
every process is different. So I hope people will know and understand that if you're going through grief, or if one of your relatives is sick and you're afraid that you're going to go through grief soon, or if they're not sick and you're just afraid of grief in general, I think just know that every grief is different, and don't judge yourself for what you're feeling, how you're feeling. Um, just accept whatever's happening. If it means going back to work straight after, or partying with your friends on your relatives' favorite music, or if it means staying in bed crying for whatever time, just don't feel bad for whatever you're doing. Because it's a process, and it can take 40 years. It can take a lot,
Yeah.
um, or even more. So just accept who you are. And I think what I hope as well is that people will just discover a bit more about me, and I don't know who I am, and I don't know. I just hate like compliments about myself, so I'm like, I don't know.
Okay, I'm
I don't know
taking
what to
that
say.
part because I think there's so much to learn from you regarding just taking it as it goes. Because we started talking about how every move you made was like you made it seem so seamless. Oh, someone just suggested it would be good for me, and then you just change countries at 22. This is not ordinary. Like this podcast is about ordinary people doing
Yeah,
extraordinary things, and I think you're so brave and so independent and so wise for your years, and you've just taken every opportunity. Every time a door opens, you jump, and this is really amazing. And while jumping, you don't judge the process, and you trust that everything will turn out. And I think if this is a lesson anyone can take, this can change life completely. If anyone can adapt the attitude of I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna feel the fear and do it anyways. I'm gonna be scared and trust that it's gonna turn out, and I'm just gonna learn in the process, and I'm just gonna accept. I'm not gonna judge whatever how long it takes, like with grief, challenges, whatever it is. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna take it a step at a time. At least that's what I'm learning from you. And I love the fact that you talked about health, how it's important, how doing like the moments, the connections you have with your humans, how it's your anchor in life. It's amazing how you trust your intuition, how you let go of friendships, and it's still like, okay, not judging, I'm not outgrowing anyone, it's just energetically not working with me, and you let go of people in love. I think that's fascinating too and very inspiring. So I think I cannot wait for you to connect more with the 2-year-old Lydie and put more music, because I've
Um,
heard you sing in so many. I think we didn't mention how many languages you speak and how perfectly. This is insane, and I can't wait for you to bring out an album in all languages possible to touch as
oh my
many
God,
souls
amazing.
as possible in the world, because I think you really have the talent to do it, and you just need to believe that no one, we want to know that it's you singing. We don't want you to do it anonymously, because I think you're gonna add even more. You're just a bundle of joy, and just seeing you just lighten the room. So I really can't wait for you to do that more. And we're approaching the New Year's, so I wanted to ask you one last question. Do you have any concrete goals? Do you believe in resolutions? Do you still do it, or are you just taking it day by day?
Yeah, I think I'm more when you were saying the fitness challenge. Well, I wouldn't start a fitness challenge in December, not to that point. But
Not that weird.
no, but I do think resolutions can happen anytime in the year and not just in January or September. So I'm already working on. I actually just got the best year journal from Intelligent Change, and I'm already like working on what I want to get going next year, what I'm looking forward to. But I'm already doing it now because I want to start as soon as possible, not just in a new year. So, but the resolutions, I'd say, working out, like going back to working out, because this is something I've neglected in the past, and it also it's connected, right? Mental health, physical health.
Everything.
So well, that's one of the things that I gave up with, to really look after other challenges that I'm facing, but it's not good because it's all connected. So
Yeah.
I really want to do that, take care of my physical and mental health through sports. Um, and then with music, just that you inspire me so much, seeing you, launching your podcast and your project and being so successful, it really inspires me. And I don't know, I just see you and I'm so happy for you. And then I'm like, actually, I would love to do that. That's true. I've always wanted to, post videos singing but I've never done it. And my friends are doing it. And why would I be ashamed, it's working for my friends. I should. So I think this is something I would like to do more, like post more of my music and really be more consistency in everything, consistency in general, actually.
Yeah.
And also work on my timing, like not stop being late, stop being. Oh my God, this is such a struggle, but this is my top, like number one to do and resolution for the year. It's like being on time and even in advance. For me, that's key, but yeah, tough.
I love it so much. I love how it differs, but I can't wait. Like for the music part, I think when you shift perspective and saying, I don't like, I honestly do not care how many people are gonna watch this, because I feel like I'm doing it for myself. When I grow older and I watch these
Yeah.
conversations, this is the most beautiful part. And when you're like, if I reach just one person, if one person listens to this and gets something out of it, it's already enough, because we're in this world of millions and millions of views, and it's just so surreal. Where I see like 170
Mm,
views on my video, I'm like, oh my god, there's some people who don't know me, they just listen for
yeah.
someone. And the small things, I think when you appreciate them more and you're doing it for another thing more than a big goal, like it just changes so much. And exercise, I am really gonna be behind, because I feel like it's like the endorphins are the body's painkillers, and
Yeah.
it connects. Like you start then sleeping more, then you take care of your nutrition, and then you drink automatically more, and it starts such a good such a good effect. And I can't wait
Yeah.
for you to rock it all. Thank you so much, Didi.
Thanks so
Thank you for being
much.
part of God's plan. I love it, and I enjoyed every minute of it, and I can't wait for people to hear your story and to see more of your content. And thank you so much. I wish you
Thanks so
an
much.
amazing New Year's, and I'll see you
You
next time,
too.
Earthlings.
Thanks so
Bye.
much. Bye. Bye bye. really say that. I swear, I was like, this is a therapy session. Like literally.
I
I
love
felt
it
like,
so much.
oh God, I was so nervous at the beginning, but then I don't know, I was so nervous, and then after, yeah, as you said, like the 5 first minutes, I like, oh, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do. But then I was like, this is my therapy, my weekly therapy with my therapist.
Oh, this is the best compliment on earth because I truly, this is what I wanted it to be. I just wanted it to be a place where you can be open and vulnerable on yourself and just talk and be like, and feel better afterwards because I feel whenever
Yeah,
people are like in public, they feel like they lost energy, and I want it to be the opposite because I love this,
yeah,
like when you connect with friends and you go on a brunch and you
I
feel like you
know,
gained more energy as an
I
introvert
know.
than lost it. For me, this is gold. So when I connect with someone one on one and I'm like, oh, I feel more energized than I did
Oh
before.
no.
Oh, it
Like,
makes me
so
so
I mean, I don't even
happy.
get as much time with my own psychologist. So I was like, this is perfect.
And we ended at 12:12, so this is divine.
Oh,
It's
no
magical.
way.
It's
Wow. Oh
mad
my
liar. It's
gosh. Oh,
amazing.
nice.
Thank you
Wow.
so much.
Thanks
You're the
so much.
best, honestly.